Hi everybody, we're going to start this morning practice in child's pose. So you get your knees on the mat, get them wide to the edge of the mat, get your big toes touching. You sit on your heels, get your forehead on the mat and take your arms long in front of you. Observe your breath. Notice any tension in your body. You don't have to do anything about it, just notice it and breathe. Just let your body go. No need to hold any contraction in your muscles. Just focus on your breath. This practice is going to be a bit energetic, so feel free to slow down the speed and take pauses in between to catch your breath if that is what you need. Stay in your child's pose. When you're ready, you tuck your toes under and come up to your downward dog, breathing out. Observe your body in downward dog. Observe any discomfort. Get your hips up and let your head hang heavily. You can adjust your body as you need. You can move from side to side slightly. Whatever your body needs at this point. But stay in your downward dog. You can move your weight from one leg to the other. And then you walk your feet towards your hands, take a halfway lift, fold forward, get your opposite arm to your opposite elbow for your ragdoll. Let your head hang heavily. Place your hands on the mat and roll your body up. Take your hands up to the sky for mountain pose. Inhale. And as you exhale, fold forward, getting your palms back on the mat. Take a halfway lift, step back, take a high plank, low plank, upward dog, and back to your downward dog. Step your feet to your hands, take a halfway lift, fold forward, mountain pose. Taking your hands up to the sky, taking a breath in, fold forward, breathing out, take a halfway lift, breathe in, low plank, breathing out, upward dog, breathe in, and downward dog, breathing out. Step your feet to your hands, take a halfway lift, fold forward, roll up to your mountain pose. Inhale, fold forward, exhaling. Take a halfway lift, step your foot back to downward dog. At this point, your heart rate should be coming up a bit. Just stay in your downward dog breathing. Observe your body in downward dog. And just catch your breath. Take a halfway lift. Fold forward. Feet together, thighs together, and lift your upper body up for your chair pose. So you just feel like you're about to sit in a chair with your feet together. Press your thighs together. Take your gaze up. And just relax in this pose. Relax in chair pose. If you feel discomfort, you can start to fold forward, breathing out. But if not, you can stay in your chair pose for a few more seconds before you fold forward slowly. Take a halfway lift and step back to your downward dog. Start to step your feet to your hands. Right foot forward, leaving your left foot behind for your crescent lunge. And then you step back to your downward dog. Take your left foot forward. Hands up to the sky, crescent lunge. And back to your down facing dog. How do you feel, guys? So in a few seconds, you're going to walk your feet to your hands. Take a halfway lift. Fold forward again. Feet together, thighs together. Chair pose. Observe your body. Fold forward. Take a halfway lift. Step your feet back to downward facing dog. Take your right foot forward for crescent lunge. Bend your knee, your front knee. Take your hands up to the sky. Hugging your belly. And then come back to your downward dog. You can see me already breaking a sweat. I hope you are as well. Take your left foot forward for crescent lunge. Inhale as you take your hands up to the sky, hugging your belly. Exhale to your downward dog. In downward dog, try to observe your upper back. Try to release any tension you feel in your upper back. Now walk your feet to your hands again. Take a halfway lift. Fold forward again. Feet together, thighs together. Chair pose. So hugging your belly in chair pose and continue breathing. Fold forward, exhale. Take a halfway lift. Step back to your downward dog. Take your right foot forward for another crescent lunge. Hands up to the sky. Keep your knee bent. And you're going to open up to your warrior two by rotating your back foot down to the mat and taking your arms wide beside you. Now, reverse your warrior by stretching your right side, and then you step back to downward dog. We're going to do the same on the opposite side. So you take your left foot forward for crescent lunge, keeping your back heel up, and then you open up to your warrior two by spinning the back heel down and taking your arms wide. Keep your knee bent, and then you take your right hand over your head, stretching out your whole left side. And then you step back to your downward facing dog. How do you feel so far? So take your right foot up and just open up to your three-legged dog. Give yourself that nice stretch. And then you take your foot back down. Take a side plank on your right side, taking your left hand up to the sky. And then you come up to a low plank and up to your upward dog. And finally in downward dog, you come to rest. Take your left foot up, open up to your three-legged dog. Stretch out your hip. And when you're ready, you bring your foot down. You take your weight onto your left hand and your right hand up to the sky for your side plank. Come to your upward facing dog and back to your downward facing dog with an exhale. Step your feet to your hands, take a halfway lift. Fold forward. And take a crow pose. So you get your feet together and get your knees to rest on your triceps. That's behind your arms, and just rest in this position. You don't have to take your feet off the mat. Just breathe in your crow pose. The idea of crow pose is to strengthen your arms and also your core, as you're using your core muscles to hold your head down and take your bum up to the sky. Step back to your downward facing dog. Dropping your head on the mat, stretching out your shoulders. Walk your feet forward again to your hands. Take a halfway lift. Fold forward. Grab your big toes with your fingers, your first two fingers, and let your head hang heavily for that nice shoulder stretch. Observe your body in your big toe hold. Take a halfway lift, fold forward, take a crow pose again, getting your knees to your triceps, the back of your hands, dropping your head down and lifting your bum up. So just rest in crow pose. step your feet back once again to downward facing dog. Relax your shoulders, stretch them out. You can adjust. Then you walk your feet to your hands, take a halfway lift, fold forward, roll up to your mountain pose, and take your hands to prayer just right in front of your chest. Now take your right elbow under your left elbow and take your right foot over your left foot for your eagle pose. So this is a shoulder stretching pose and a balancing pose rolled in one. Keep your gaze up. Take your hands up to the sky for your mountain pose and switch sides, taking your left elbow underneath your right elbow and your left foot over your right knee. Observe your balance in this pose and try to quieten your mind. Take your hands up to the sky for mountain pose and bring your arms to your hands to your chest in prayer pose. Now take your right hand up to the sky. Now drop your right hand in front of your right foot while taking your left foot back. This will really challenge your balance and it's okay if you wobble. Take your left hand up to the sky if you're able to do that. And just breathe in this position. If you're not able to take your foot up to the sky, you can have your foot down. Although I didn't show it here. Now take your foot back down. Take your opposite arm to your opposite elbow to give your back a bit of a stretch before you take your hands up to mountain pose. We're going to take the half moon pose on the opposite side with you. Dropping your left hand to the mat in front of your left foot. Lifting your right foot behind you and taking your arms up to the sky. Try to keep your balance in this pose. And just breathe. Take your right foot down, take your opposite arm to your opposite elbow for your ragdoll to stretch your back. Then you take your hands up to the sky for mountain pose, bringing your arms in prayer position. Now take your right foot above or below your left thigh or left shin, or you can even drop your foot on the mat. Keep your hand in prayer position or take your hands up to the sky if you can keep your balance. This pose is very good for helping to keep the mind balanced, and it's okay if you wobble a little bit. With practice, you'll be able to stay minutes in tree pose. But if you're a beginner, just keep your foot on the mat, close to your ankle. Now we're going to switch sides. foot above or below your knee, or you can even take it down, all the way down to your ankle. Take your hands up to the sky if you can, and just observe your breath. If you would like to challenge yourself here, you can close your eyes. Bring your hands back to prayer and your foot to mat. Take your hands up to mountain pose. Fold forward. Take a halfway lift. Low plank. Upward dog. And downward dog. Walk your feet to your hands. Take a halfway lift. Fold forward and come lying on your mat with your knees bent and your feet firmly on the ground. Lift your bum up for your bridge pose. Come back down to the mat. Observe your back. Try not to turn your neck in this position. In fact, do not turn your neck. Lift up for your second bridge pose. You can interlink your fingers behind you to give yourself a deeper stretch, or you can just keep your arms beside you gently. So come back down to the mat. Take 2 breaths and then lift up again for the third bridge pose. By this time, you're able to go a bit further and your balance should be improving. So come back down to the mat. Get the soles of your feet to touch each other. Take one hand on your belly and one hand on your chest and just rest. Let your knees fall out to the side to whatever your limit is and just relax in Supta Pada Konasana. So come back to center, take your feet up, catch your feet from the inside for your happy baby pose. Make sure you keep your lower back on the mat. You can roll from side to side to give your back a bit of a massage. Here you can see me stretching out one foot after the other, going deeper, but you don't have to do this. Just stay in happy baby. Now hug your feet, your knees to your chest to massage your back even further. And then you roll up. You rock and you roll. This is also a good way to massage your back. Now sit on your bum. Lift your feet up off the mat with your arms long beside you or in front of you. And then you fall back and you come back up to your high boat, low boat, high boat, breathing in. Low boat, breathing out. You step back to downward dog. Take your right foot long behind you. Open up to your three-legged dog and then bring your knee in front of you and sit for your pigeon pose. So this is a very hip opening pose. Rest your head down to the mat if you can. Just breathe into your hips at this point. Come back up to center, go back to your downward facing dog. Take your left foot long behind you, open up to three-legged dog and come to your pigeon pose on the left side. Rest in pigeon pose. Observe your body. Notice if one side is tighter than the other. Just breathe in pigeon pose. Take your foot back to your downward facing dog, stretching your hip and your shoulder. Step your feet to the mat, to the front of your hands. Take your hands up to the sky, come sitting down with your feet long in front of you, and then you fold forward. This is a very good upper back stretch. Try not to strain your lower back in this pose. Center. Take your arms beside you. Bend your knees with your feet flat on the mat. And just drop your head back for your reverse tabletop. If you can take your hips up, further up to the sky, and then you drop your hips back down to the mat. You sit on your palms, drop your elbow to the mat. You can have bent knees for this. Fish pose. You can open your mouth slightly to release your jaw in this position. You can adjust your body to open up your chest more. And then you come lying on the mat. We're going to be going up to our plow pose. In plow pose, you take your feet over your head. You can take one foot before the other if that feels more comfortable for you. And just drop your feet over your head. Support your lower back with your hands. But if you're advanced, you can interlink your fingers and leave them on the mat. Do not turn your head in this position. Please, I beg you. You can dislocate your neck doing this. This is a very good shoulder stretch. Plow pose. Take one foot up to the sky. Take the other foot up to the sky as well for your shoulder stand. So make sure you're supporting your lower back. Also, do not turn your head in this position as well. You can bend your knees and drop both knees behind either of your ears for your deaf man's pose. Support your lower back. And when you're ready, you come lying on your mat. Massage your lower back a little bit by keeping your hands on your knees and just rotating your hips and your knees clockwise and anti-clockwise. When you're ready, you drop your feet down to the mat. Lift your hips up, taking your arms out to the side. Drop your hip to the right and your feet, your knees to the left. Take your gaze over the opposite side of your knee and just breathe. When you're ready, come back to center with your feet on the mat. Take your hips up and switch sides. Take your gaze to the opposite side of your knees. When you're ready, take your feet long in front of you. Your arms beside you, palms facing up. Get your shoulder blades directly under your shoulders so that your back is totally flat on the mat. And just relax here in Savasana. Hope you had a very good yoga session. And it's okay if you could not keep up, if you had to pause. But yay, you made it to the end, and I'm proud of you. Keep breathing in Savasana. Relax your body. Observe how you feel and just let go. When you're ready, use your arms to catch your knees and roll over to your right side. And then you come up to a comfortable seated position, arms in prayer. And just observe your breath. I like to rub my palms together to generate some heat. When I feel there's enough energy between my palms, I place them over my eyes because this has a very calming sensation. So guys, we've come to the end of this yoga session. I hope you had a good time.